Could you sense energy in your hands? Could you see your aura? According to my experience, the success rate is 90% even at the first attempt. However, only 30% of people can see the color of the aura for the first time. 70% see only the white contour of the inner aura. Almost everybody can see dominant colors though in about 3 weeks. These dominant colors rarely change, and they define the character of each individual. These colors range from red to violet, from active to passive. Somebody with a red aura likes to live a very active life and is usually extrovert. He is always full of energy, likes to move and talk a lot, and expresses himself often. He gets angry quickly, but forgives quickly too. People with red auras are passionate and love adventure. They are natural-born leaders, competitors, and athletes. They live and die for success, but sometimes lack focus and dedication to reach it. On the negative side, they can be aggressive, materialistic, and impatient. Somebody else with an orange aura is less of an extrovert and looks inside more often. He is also active, though, and seeks to express his creativity. He thinks more, but he moves less. He has many ideas, often innovative and creative. At the same time, he stays realistic and practical in his approach. He likes to be his own boss and doesn't accept orders easily. His emotional life is extremely important for him. He cares for his family and his friends and likes to make decisions based on gut feelings. On the negative side, he can be swept away by his emotions and is susceptible for mood swings. He can also be lazy, egoistic, and sometimes even narcissistic. Yellow is the color of the mind. People with dominant yellow auras are clever, logical, and analytic. They are also optimistic, enthusiastic, and entertaining. They like company, but they like to be in the center of attention. They enjoy endless talks and chit-chat where they tell often exaggerated stories. This enables them to lie easily when they have to. They share their passion for self-expression with orange aura individuals. They equally value freedom and individuality. As they are living too much in their heads, they can become very egoistic. A big ego means a vulnerable ego, so they are often shy. When criticized, they become hurt very easily, but they are prone to criticizing others. They want to be noticed and acknowledged. The next dominant color is green, the symbol of balance. Nature is green because it is in balance. People with this aura color are equally balanced, and they love to be in nature themselves. Love itself is very important for them. They are living from their hearts. They care for others, and they know unconditional love. They are empathetic with everyone they meet, and others can count on them. They are natural-born healers and often become doctors, nurses, or experts in alternative medicine. However, they can become too rigid and stubborn. It is hard for them to say no and to give up or change their habits. People with blue auras are almost at the top of the higher end of the spectrum, thus they are quite introvert. They are the manifestations of calmness, so others like to be around them when they are stressed. They are also positive, honest, reliable, and faithful. It is no surprise that the auras of pregnant women turn blue. They proudly march under the flag of justice, and they are usually non-judgmental. However, they may turn too cold and distance themselves from their emotions. They like to be alone and turn away from society again and again. This is how they can penetrate deep into things and submerge themselves in a given topic. People with blue auras often become artists with vivid fantasy and creative imagination. The next color is violet, but it is not the last one. Violet is the symbol of intuition, and it can be connected to the third eye. People whose auras are dominantly of this color have a strong connection with the higher worlds, and they are often very spiritual. They are not only empathetic, but often telepathic as well. They base their judgments on their intuition, and they follow the guidance of a higher order. They value honesty, justice, and unconditional love above all. They feel a deep inner urge to help and inspire others for the greater good. They cannot say no to people, and others may abuse this quality. They get hurt easily, even if they were not directly offended. They are inclined to feel sorry for the whole world, and especially for themselves. They often confuse their inclination for transcendence with the feeling of superiority. Sometimes orange auras turn into golden between the age of 35 and 45. This brings forth creative force, godly love, unlimited possibilities, and monumental undertakings. These individuals are blessed with talent, success, charisma, diligence, and patience. Golden aura is the sign of dynamic spiritual energy that can be observed often around spiritual teachers. They serve humanity as a whole instead of individual persons. They are curious for everything and prefer first-hand experience to theoretical knowledge. Thus, they are prone to put themselves in danger and get bored with things quite quickly. On the negative side, they can be too harsh on themselves, and they can go from one extreme to the other. Besides, it is a rare color, so people with golden auras often feel lonely and can be judged antisocial. Another rare aura color is crystal. In crystal healing, the ordinary quartz is known to be very flexible and fluid. It can be programmed to do anything and can take up any quality. People with crystal auras are very similar. They are emotional chameleons. They almost immediately take up the character of the person they are interacting with. Thus, everybody likes their company because they feel that they are on the same wavelength. However, this equality is only temporary because their characters change with the wind. As their personalities are so volatile, they often feel lost, confused, or about to perish. They are fragile not only psychologically, but often physically as well. However, they possess high healing and intuitive abilities, and many of them become healers or clairvoyants. These dominant aura colors are strongly correlated with dominant chakra colors. There is a very sophisticated theory among energy healers about how distinct psychological characters are the results of various chakras dominating the bioenergy. For example, the color of the sexual chakra is orange. A second chakra dominant person is very creative, just like someone with an orange aura. The quality of the energy changes from color to color, both in the aura and in the chakra. I have to give you an important warning at this point. Don't get too hung up on these character traits. Don't try to overanalyze yourself or others. The character or personality is helpful in everyday life during day-to-day interaction. It makes life easier if we know our own and others' inclinations and preferred modes of functioning. However, many spiritual people put too much emphasis on these character types and try to put everybody in a theoretical box. On the one hand, nobody fits into a box perfectly. Everybody is a unique individual. On the other hand, the very essence of spirituality is to let you get rid of the burden of personality. Trying to understand and explain everything on the basis of character leads just to the opposite direction. The aura has no borders, but it has many layers on top of each other, like the layers of an onion. The physical body itself is the first border of the vibrational energy field, where it is the most dense. The second layer is the inner aura just beyond the physical body, and it makes up the so-called etheric body. The outer aura, the third layer, makes up the astral or emotional body, and it consists of emotions. The fourth layer is called the mental body, which consists of thoughts, ideas, concepts, and abstractions. Beyond this last layer, the aura becomes impersonal and universal. Consciousness in this stage is said to reside in the causal body, in a state of bliss, peace, and happiness. These are the 5 types of bodies your consciousness occupies all the time and at the same time. It depends on your attention which of these bodies become your reality in any given moment. It is easier to understand them if you think about them like 5 aspects of consciousness. In this sense, your physical body is just one aspect of reality, but not the ultimate one. When your consciousness is fixed on the physical plane, you perceive your body as real. But in your dreams, your astral body becomes just as real for you until you are asleep. I already spoke a lot about the physical and the etheric bodies. From the perspective of your physical body, you perceive everything as matter, while looking from the etheric one, everything seems and feels to be energy. The next layer in your aura is the emotional body, living in the 3rd plane of consciousness, the astral world. Your emotions are directly affecting your energy body, as we will see in the next lesson in detail. Changes in your emotions can be observed in your outer aura as different colors. The astral world simply means your emotional world, and the collection of the conscious and subconscious fears and desires you carry within yourself. In those moments when you get carried away by emotion, your consciousness actually focuses on the emotional plane. Besides, you visit the astral world every night when you dream. Your consciousness leaves the physical and the etheric bodies and manifests inside an astral body. This simply means that it fixes itself in this aspect of reality, and this becomes your only reality until you wake up from the dream. This gives you a chance to realize and experience your subconscious emotions. The next aspect of consciousness is the mental body, and it is connected to the plane of the intellect. Every time you think you are in your mental body, it is not something outside of you. In fact, you are the consciousness that focuses on different planes of existence, pays attention to various aspects of reality, and thus fixes itself in different bodies. You are none of your bodies. You are beyond all of them. Your consciousness is not inside the bodies, especially not in the physical one. Your different bodies are different fixations of your consciousness. Thus, your bodies can be said to be inside consciousness. The very goal of this academy is to disrupt these mental fixations and liberate your consciousness from all identifications. You can be only in one body at a time. So when you think, you actually leave your physical body in a way. In this case, you become unconscious of the physical plane, but your body can still function automatically. For example, you may take a long walk on a road you know very well. Meanwhile, you start to think about something and you get lost in your thoughts. When you arrive, you realize that you came all the way without actually paying any attention to the road itself. You suddenly come back from the mental plane to your physical body. The mental body is even more subtle than the emotional one. That is why changing a thought is quicker than changing an emotion. Furthermore, thoughts are more objective than emotions because they are further away from the center, which also means that they can be shared more easily with others. The mental body is the center of the mind, intellect, logic, analysis, reasoning, knowledge, and the ego. The last veil in the aura system is the causal or spiritual body. It doesn't have a border, as it encompasses everything and everyone. It is the level of pure bliss, happiness, and wisdom. This is the abode of pure awareness, the sense of I am. Consciousness detaches itself from everything, including the body, the energy, the emotions, the thoughts, and even the ego. It becomes liberated as it moves beyond all the other planes of existence and experiences itself. Some people experience this state in deep meditation, while everybody is on the causal plane during deep sleep. The causal body is what really connects all of us, because this is the point where consciousness is in a unified state. This means that the illusion of a personal consciousness, along with a personal reality, disappears, and it becomes universal. While everybody has a separate and distinct physical, etheric, emotional, and mental body, only one spiritual body exists. When consciousness dwells in it, you become one with everybody else. You realize that only this consciousness exists, and you are this consciousness itself. These are the 5 bodies, the 5 layers of the aura, the 5 worlds, the 5 different aspects of consciousness. There is one more important distinction we have to make on each of these levels. It makes a huge difference whether you are conscious or unconscious in them. Until you are unconscious on a plane, you are identified with it. Once you become conscious of your body on a given plane, you liberate yourself from it. Until you unconsciously move your physical body based on past habits, you will never go beyond it. While you are learning a new type of movement, like riding a bike, you have to be extremely conscious of your body. You have to pay attention to the way you hold your arms, to the speed with which you push the pedals, to keep your balance all the time, and even to the road itself. But once you learn how to ride the bike, the movements become automatic, and you completely forget about your body. You become unconscious of it. Most people are totally unconscious of the energy body. Even if they heard of it, they don't believe it exists. They think it is a spiritual belief, when in fact it is a physical reality. However, everybody is familiar with the world of emotions. The problem is that many are unconscious also on this level, so they are completely controlled by it. They cannot detach themselves from their emotions. They cannot view them as mere spectators. However, being unconscious of the mental body is an even bigger problem. It is an epidemic of the modern society. Obsessive thinking works just like a drug, and most people are addicts. The flow of thoughts seems to be an unstoppable river in which they almost drown. Many people seem to think that the mind with the ego is the last reality, because their consciousness is identified with the mental body. Being unconscious of the causal body is even more common, though. Only very few people reach the spiritual plane consciously and experience oneness with full awareness. The goal of this academy is to make you conscious of all your bodies on all planes, one by one. We are going step by step higher and higher, and break your unconscious habits and identifications on each level. This is the only way you can reach complete liberation. Now that you know about the aura and its different layers, let's go into energy healing a little bit. You shouldn't try this on others until you are not experienced enough, but you should be able to give basic healing to yourself and balance your energy body. However, I have to give you an important disclaimer at this point. This information is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice. It is provided for educational purposes only. You assume full responsibility for how you choose to use this information. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider before starting any new treatment or discontinuing an existing one. Talk with your doctor about any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Nothing contained in these topics is intended to be used for medical diagnosis or treatment. Energy healing is not a substitute, but a supplement for healing a physical disease. Until the imbalance exists only in the energy body, energy healing is enough. But once it affects your physical body and manifests as a disease, you have to turn to a doctor. If you keep your energy body healthy, though, you can prevent almost all diseases. So, how do you actually practice energy healing on yourself? This science has many variations and forms like Reiki, pranic healing, acupuncture, acupressure, chakra healing, and crystal healing, among many others. No matter which form you use, there are some basic principles you have to keep in mind. First, you never use your own energy to heal, but the universal life energy we spoke about before. The very essence of energy healing is replenishing, refreshing, and rebalancing your energy body. You have to connect yourself consciously to the universal life force, and the new energy in your system will flow automatically where it needs to flow. It works just like your immune system, which intelligently repairs, heals, and balances your physical body. Second, all healing happens through the power of intention. Energy is always controlled by thoughts, either consciously or unconsciously. Every imbalance in the energy body manifests because of unconscious emotional blocks and destructive thought patterns. On a higher level of healing, the goal is to find these patterns and unblock them. On this basic level, the goal is simply to understand this connection, the practice of energy healing, with the focused intention of becoming healthy. Third, every energy healing session should start with cleansing. Energy is either depleted or congested in certain areas of your etheric body, where it turns dirty or gray. It is very important to remove this kind of energy before you start energizing the affected areas. Wash your hands in salt water and light up an incense stick to purify the air. Rub your hands and sensitize them by making the energy ball exercise until they become warm. Clean your aura with slow sweeping motions from top to bottom and flick your hands after each movement. You may even feel them become heavy as you are doing this. When you want to clean a painful area, move your hand anti-clockwise above it and flick it after 6 rounds. Imagine creating a small vortex that sucks out diseased energy from the affected body part. We will go through 3 basic methods of self-healing. First, you use your hands to touch the painful area. Then, you create a small distance between them. And finally, you remove your hands altogether. Placing your palms where it hurts is a completely natural instinct. We are all hardwired to use our hands for healing, and we all heard stories of how some people performed miracles this way. Making this unconscious reflex conscious, you can also master this healing touch. You have to add the conscious intention, vivid visualization, and the power of affirmation to the equation. Say in yourself, "I want to heal myself." Imagine vividly as the energy is entering from the top of your head, moving to your navel, and then flowing from your hand to the painful area. As soon as you feel something, affirm in yourself that the healing is already happening. You can also use this touch to energize yourself, balance your aura, and prevent diseases. In this case, move your palms all through your body from top to bottom. Start with your stomach by placing both of your palms gently on it with your fingers open. Leave them there for a couple of minutes, then move up gradually towards your chest. Try not to leave gaps. Cover all areas as you slowly move your palms. Finish at the top of your head, then take a deep breath and shake your hands. The second method is very similar, except that you leave a small gap of a couple of centimeters between your hands and your body. Practice feeling the warmth and the energy flowing through this gap. Close your eyes to feel the sensation better while making strong visualization and affirmation. When you feel ready, you can do the same movements as in the first method. The third technique is the hardest and the easiest at the same time. Here, you stop using your hands altogether and influence the flow of energy with your mind alone. Your thoughts have an incredible power over your whole mind and body. Ultimately, it is your thoughts that make you sick and cause psychosomatic diseases. The same way, thoughts can heal you just as easily. Energy behaves in a magical way because it follows your attention perfectly. This is because just like matter is nothing more than energy from a higher perspective, energy is nothing more than consciousness from an even higher perspective. Your consciousness is the underlying force that moves this energy. Anytime your energy body gets out of balance, it means that there is some unconscious disturbance in your mind. On this level, you can rebalance the energy flow with your conscious attention. In fact, the hands were necessary only to help you guide your attention to the painful areas on your body. Once your visualization becomes really effective, you can stop relying on your hands altogether. So, when practicing self-healing with your mind, just lie down or sit down in a comfortable and quiet environment. You don't have to wash or sensitize your hands this time. Take a deep breath and start to clear your aura in your mind. Imagine your energy body becoming brighter and brighter, layer by layer. See it front of your closed eyes as vividly as you can. Take deep breaths all the time directly into your belly. When you feel something happening, affirm it every time. Be grateful and happy that it is already working. When you feel that your aura is clear enough, start energizing your body in general. Imagine a bright beam of light entering the top of your head, the energy flowing to your navel, and spreading all around your body like blood. In fact, your navel center is very similar in this sense to your heart, and the way it pumps energy to every little particle. You may even have a pulsating or vibrating feeling, and an immense heat spreading all over. When you feel that the energy is moving so quickly that your body almost catches fire, you can start focusing on its individual areas. Pay full attention to the first pain point and visualize all the energy flowing there. Stay focused on it firmly, make affirmations, and breathe deeply. If you do it right, you will sense a comfortable heat of wave, and your muscles might start twitching. These are all signs of healing. Continue this until you feel is necessary, and then move on to the next painful area. When ready, be grateful that you are already on the way to full recovery. Repeat this practice every day for at least 30 minutes. Besides these basic healing methods, you will learn some advanced techniques in the next lesson. You must have already heard of the chakra system, which are the different centers of the energy body. Their functions are connected to various physical and psychological aspects. Besides making self-healing more effective, they also help you recognize your emotional and mental imbalances.